thing, which Michael, you've already seen the clip, you have a basic idea. So we'll go to Lance. I think he has a role in this film too. What's your character about in the film? You're a friend of both Rance and Tim.
Yeah, we were in the service together. And I play a tow truck driver. and I'm a father and a member of this town. And then these people with their anger management problem come into town and try to rob the bank and end up running into the woods, which up around Flagstaff and places like that, that's not a very good idea, especially when it's coming into winter. And they meet their karmic rewards.
Yeah, but see, at least you don't have to face off against a predator here. See, it's just Bigfoot, which is kind of, I guess, a predator.
This guy's a real name dropper, isn't he?
Yeah, I had to put the word predator in there. Somebody said, I gotta fit that in somewhere. It's a predator, it's a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I know.
And I failed once again.
No, but this one is a scary deal.
Yeah, things happen.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, this is again, I guess, again, with Bigfoot, it's more of a mystery. It's always been enshrouded in mystery. So this kind of leads up to, you know, maybe unveiling a little bit more about the Bigfoot, involving, of course, the town robbery and some of the other characters. Of course, the characters drive the story, you know, and then, of course, you have the element with Tiny playing Bigfoot.
You've seen this movie?
Yes, in a way, I've seen it. I'm channeling it right now. No. I have a great imagination. I'm putting on a comic book show.
Yeah. There's been Bigfoot movies, but not like this one.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, seriously, but I'm saying that we've seen the Yeti movies and the Henriksen thing, but this is
this is
pretty scary because all these characters are flushed out that you see up here.
I think this guy's the director.
He is.
Stephen R. Monroe. Tell us a little bit about how your perspective is, because when Lance said you seem to bring probably a different approach to it, just even from the shooting of the film, the way it's saturated film, the way it's been shot, it has a certain look to it, which probably will bring out the mystery of the film and all that. So how's your input into it? What do you bring to the project?
Well, there was a certain amount of saturation. I mean, initially the first thing that popped in my head is when I was a kid, I definitely remember, and it stuck in my head, the Patterson footage. So I kind of wanted to take the look and the feel of that, more of a distance and a point of view to the Bigfoot, and kind of make that part of the look of the film. We shot on HD and not on film, so we were able to kind of manipulate it in more directions than we could on film, and chose to shoot widescreen also because of the forest and everything. So, but that travels throughout the entire film. It's more of the perspective of the people being stalked and stuck in this situation. It's how they see this creature. It's not, you know, you won't see any moving POV shots with breathing and things like that.
Right.
You know, it was more from the perspective of what I remembered from that old Super 8 and 16mm footage from the Patterson, and to keep it like that, because to me that's a lot more scary than you know, and also to keep the legend of it true. Michael and I wanted to be very, very careful to not turn it into a monster slasher film, because that's not the heritage of the story of Bigfoot. So just kind of combining that, and also you know, the story of these characters was very interwoven in it too. So there's a good docudrama feel to it also. A lot of good scenery and suspense.
You kind of evoke that with the way it was shot, just in the scenes we saw here.
Yeah.
But you know, you mentioned the Patterson footage. Now, not everybody's into the Yeti, because when I first was aware of Devil in the Mountain, I really didn't know enough about it. I didn't know what it was exactly, and I got more material in on it. So maybe not everybody knows about the Patterson footage. Could you describe a little bit about the Yeti, about what's out there, about that footage? There was some discovered footage.
Yeah, it was, what was it, Michael, 1968? 1970, and it was, I'm trying to remember, it was Oregon, wasn't it?
I was actually
Northern California, but close to the Oregon border. It was filmed. I think a lot of people, even if they can't remember exactly what it is, have seen it and just can't remember.
You might see a clip of it, like one of those, would you believe?
It's that classic shot. It looks like
thing.
a very large gorilla walking along some fallen brush and dead trees and things, and he turns and looks right at the camera and then keeps going. And I mean, to be honest, it really scared the heck out of people back then. So we actually, in the very opening of the film, we almost duplicate that shot through Lance's point of view. and just try and keep to the realism of that throughout it. I think a lot of these films have taken too much creative liberty and have turned it into, they've got, Bigfoot flying through the trees with fangs and, spin kicking people in the head and things like that. So, we wanted to make people feel like they could have been watching a documentary.
Okay. Well, that brings us to Michael Worth, the writer of the movie. We've, of course, seen you in some of the martial arts films like U.S. SEALs. So this is kind of a different project.
Speaking of spin kicking.
Yeah. Which you've evolving into a writer, going in other directions with this type of film, which is, again, a genre horror type film. Talk a little bit about what your involvement was in terms of your writing and how you got involved. You already mentioned earlier a little detail on it, but let's talk about your character too. You're part of the team running into the bay, wanting to make a withdrawal. So
yeah, just I wanted to do, like Stephen was saying, we do a film that was really sort of Bigfoot oriented in the sense that somebody, as he said, there's been a lot of movies about Bigfoot that have fangs and spin kicks and all that stuff, but we wanted to do something that was a little more from the point of view of the characters. It's really a drama with a little horror thrown into it.
But your character is just, you're embarking on some, because you're the heavily tattooed robber.
Yeah, I'm playing, the part of the story we can give away is it's about a group of bank robbers that come to this small town thinking they can pull off this bank job real easily, and what happens is they end up getting into a wreck with this girl and being chased into the forest by the sheriff and his two cronies, and basically how they have to sort of join forces to take on another force that's stalking them through the mountains. And I play the character of Vin, who's one of the bank robbers. And it's a very ensemble cast. It's not really focused on one person. It's pretty much of a Reservoir Dogs meets Predator kind of thing, so.
All right, that's 2 times we got Predator right now. Does anybody have any questions about the film? You can come up here too if you have a question, so we can all hear it. You can just come up here by the mic, so.
You guys don't mind, I'll go for 2 questions.
All right,
One out here. Michael, it seemed like it was a little extra realistic, I think, based on the way that it was shot. Was there any of your writing that, were you hearing the writing in some way to make it seem a little more?
Well, Steve and I always knew he was going to direct it from the beginning, and Steve and I have done a couple of films. We've known each other for a number of years. In fact, his first film he directed, I was in, and we just did a film with Thomerson and Karen right before. So I knew how his mind thought, and he and I really kind of was symbiotic that way. So, and we both agreed we wanted to do something that was, again, not giving away too much of the creature, keeping it from that reality that we all have in Bigfoot, whatever the reality, whether you believe it or not. So.
Karen, you look extremely attractive up there. And
Wow,
also
thank you.
extra convincing for the bad
Bitch.
Yes.
Excuse my language.
She's really not. That's just the exterior.
So, did you do anything to prepare to give that extra performance, and how did it feel to be doing that kind of extra performance?
I think when you work on any character, you do your work before it, and you create your own backstory. So when you are actually shooting it, that's what just comes out naturally. And I don't know. There's not. Since you do the preparation before, it meshes with who you are. You dig into little pieces of yourself that are part of that character, so then it just feels natural.
You are a bitch.
Thanks.
Hello, how you doing? I just wanted to ask you a question last time at the end. Are you as tall as the Bigfoot or a little bit taller?
Well, I'm 7 foot tall. And they start out about 7 to 8 feet tall. Yeah.
And here's a comment. Your movie is real remarkable. You love the diction you got right there. It's real remarkable. And also, you're very beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That was scary. You say Tiny Ron is beautiful? I'm scared here. Okay, thanks for clarifying. You were just talking to Tiny Ron. I was worried.
It's all about Karen.
Tiny Ron's very beautiful. It's Karen Kim is